tomorrow is going to be a make it or break it for the stock market because we have the inflation numbers that are coming out tomorrow pre-market. In this video, I want to talk about the numbers and why it is going to be very, very important. Tomorrow pre-market, we're either going to gap up or gap down by a 1% mark. And in this video, I want to talk about the levels and the probability with the market. I want to talk about SPY, I want to talk about QQQ, give a update on CRM, and talk about IWM, a nice potential share play that I am looking at. So let's get started with this video. Subscribe with notifications on. Make sure to leave a like, follow me on Twitter, and go to sundaystocktalk.com to get a very nice email newsletter right into your email. And we had incredible plays this week with this email newsletter, so make sure you check that out and take advantage. It is completely free. Now let's get started with the inflation numbers that are coming out tomorrow. So tomorrow pre-market, 1 hour before market opens, we have the numbers coming out, and these are very important because basically what this number tells us is inflation slowing down, is inflation going up, and this is very important for the market because the higher the inflation, the worse for the market, and the lower the inflation, the better. And we can just see that what CPI does is it makes a group of stuff, so apparel, housing, food, beverages, and it takes a bunch of household and everyday items that we need, and then it tracks the price every single month and every single year. And if we take a look at the chart, inflation is cooling down, and by the market looks very bullish, especially since right now we are expecting a 3.1% forecast for inflation for tomorrow. That is our number. So we're expecting inflation to drop down by pretty much a whole percent. So that is huge. That is a huge number for inflation. Our price target for inflation, the Fed's price target is 2%. 2% is normal inflation. And by the time we hit 2%, we're going to pretty much hit all-time highs for the market. And we're pretty much getting very close to that point for the market. So 3.1%, we're dropping 1%. That is an absolutely huge number. What are the possibility that that's going to happen? And we're going to see what happens tomorrow with the pre-market shock at pre-market. So that is what we are taking a look at. And then tomorrow we also have an inflation number, but pretty much this is going to be the main one. Now, I also usually what I do is I take a look at gas prices. I like taking a look at gas prices because we can all see the price, and this is a very nice website that we can kind of see. And pretty much especially from a month ago, inflation pretty much just sideways. So it's going to be interesting to see because again, inflation is not just gas. We have food, housing, and all of that, but this is just an indicator that we can take a look at, and so far it looks good, especially from the previous year. Inflation seems to be doing pretty nice and cooling down. Now let's talk about the SPY. So again, that ascending triangle, that ascending triangle going off with our bullish scenario, It is going off with our bullish scenario that we have written down, and we have traded between these zones, and we are approaching this level of resistance. So pre-market, we're either going to gap up or we're either going to gap down. Now, since we're about to break out, I have to make my next price target. So we have our next price target here, but we are about to break out, and tomorrow we're going to see what happens. Are we going to break out to the upside? Because if we do break out, calls right at open to 448. 448 is our main critical level and our main price target. This could also be a nice area to short if you're trying to trade futures. You guys can kind of scalp out this level of resistance because this is a major level of resistance on the daily time frame for the SPY. But then our bearish scenario is, I'm taking a look at our bearish scenario is going to be that we close below this level of support. So it is really going to be a hit or miss for tomorrow, depending upon the number that comes out pre-market. We're either going to gap down, gap up, and go all the way up, or we're going to either gap down and go all the way down. And if you guys have previously known, again, this is a huge day. Tomorrow is going to be a huge day for the market. So definitely is going to be very interesting on what happens tomorrow. These are price targets. But what's going to happen next is, if we do have a bullish scenario and we do close above, this is going to be our next zone. Okay, so this is going to be our next level of zone. Again, we have these zones all the time. We have these zones. We trade sideways between these zones. Okay, we have one here. We have one here. But our next zone is right between here, and that is what we are looking at for a bullish scenario. Now let's talk about QQQ, which is the tech ETF, and really the same thing. We have a massive symmetrical triangle on the daily time frame. We have again this target, this massive level of resistance that we are taking a look at. Okay, if the inflation news comes out bullish, we're pretty much just going to all-time highs, and that's really the main thing with the inflation numbers, because again, if we go to 2% numbers for inflation, that's very bullish, and we're pretty much back at all-time highs for the market. So that is it with the Qs. I want to leave a quick update on CRM. So we made a video on CRM, and unfortunately it gapped up. I wish I could have gotten in this play before market closed, but man, it just gapped up. It gapped up 3%, and I couldn't pretty much play it. But the technical analysis, again, just on point. Again, just on point. Pre-market, pretty much a lot of people bought shares during pre-market, and it just pumped up and ran up like 3% with CRM. Now, next, I'm taking a look. So I'm going to make a whole video on this, but I'm taking a look at the IWM, which was on our weekly watch list, and this was on our video also. So I'm taking a look at this massive symmetrical triangle on the weekly time frame. Looks just like Ford, where we had this symmetrical triangle. Again, we're still holding Ford. We have 50% of our position on Ford, but I'm taking a look at IWM for a shares play, a long-term shares play. I really love this symmetrical triangle, so it's going to be a really chill back late play, just like we had on Ford. And then NNDM. Okay, again, I'm still watching this stock, but tomorrow we're going to see what happens, okay? Because again, it's going to pull a Rivian, okay? If NNDM closes above this level of resistance, it's going to pull a Rivian. And I want to be ready to buy in shares. And the main confirmation that I've always said is if we close above on the daily time frame, just like we did on Rivian, okay? Just like we did on Rivian. And then watch on how it broke the resistance and then came back down to test it, and then had a massive continuation to the upside, and it's still running. So IWM and NMDM are the plays that I'm looking for shares. Again, mostly shares play. CRM was going to be our options play, but unfortunately, and obviously we're still holding on to Target. Okay, we're still holding on to Target. It's pretty much just trading sideways. So overall, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe with the notifications on. Follow me on Twitter, SundayStockTalk.com. Again, we're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers, okay? 5,000 subscribers. I know we're going to hit 100K eventually. It's just going to be a matter of time. The content that we are producing and the value is absolutely incredible, and really no other YouTuber is doing, something like this. So again, I would really appreciate if you guys could share, subscribe, and leave a like. And see you guys tomorrow. I'll be posting the IWM video. Bye-bye.